Hello everyone, my name is Rose Shards, but feel free to call me Rosie, Rose, Chloe, or honestly whatever you want. As some of you may know, I recently put some polls on my channel about some future speed paints, and I initially was going to do a speed paint featuring Ivy Pool and doubling for this video, but because a lot of you guys suggested that I instead do that for an Ain't It Fun special, and that's still a little bit away from hitting 1 million, I decided that today's speed paint will instead focus on an idea that's been pretty big in the community for a while now. The idea being whether Hollyleaf should have been part of the prophecy or not. I've honestly got a lot of beef with Omen of the Stars for not actually giving Hollyleaf a power and making her the fourth cat, so I thought it would be interesting to get into my thoughts and opinions on the matter in this video. Hollyleaf as a character has always been really interesting to me. She started off as a really dedicated cat who always believed in following the code, but her world quickly fell apart around her when she realized that her very existence was against the code that she essentially learned to worship. On top of that, she didn't have a power like her brothers, further singling her out from the clan. She truly had no place in ThunderClan, or anywhere. This all contributed to her having a massive breakdown, which I'm sure all of you guys remember. From what I can remember, the Power of 3 was really good and entertaining, and I don't really have a huge problem with it, but I do have a lot of problems with the following arc, Omen of the Stars, and honestly see it as the worst arc ever written. Though there are a lot of reasons I feel this way, I'm gonna try and stick strictly to stuff that focuses on Hollyleaf. Hollyleaf is thought to be dead for the majority of the arc, all the way up until the 5th book. I don't have a problem with her returning this late because it really does convince readers that she's dead, this making her return a lot more emotional and dramatic. But something that does annoy me is how she returns, doesn't really do anything, gets massively injured, suddenly forgives everyone and talks about how she couldn't bear to die without getting to know her mother despite not even really trying to connect with her again, and then dies. Like, what was absolutely baffling to me is that she not only does nothing meaningful after her return, she forgives her mothers after not even interacting with them. Like, what? There was no reason for Hollyleaf to think Leaf had been a good mother, and she did not get to know her after she returned. I mean, I can only hope I'm forgetting a key interaction they had or something, but even the Warriors Wiki says that they didn't interact before this. I do, however, think that maybe giving Hollyleaf a power could have helped with this. For example, maybe she returns and upon realizing that she may be the fourth cat or something, she understands that she and her siblings all had to be born in order to help the Dark Forest battle, giving her a purpose that stretches beyond the warrior code. Maybe she realizes that things would have been worse had she not been born. And this is a really simplistic idea at the moment, but give me a minute to explain why her having a power would have strengthened the entire arc. In The Last Hope, it is revealed that Firestar is the fourth cat. Firestar! Maybe if you're not thinking about it, Firestar seems like a perfectly fine candidate, but once you put things together, you realize he was the absolute worst cat to be the fourth. Why, you may ask? Well, Firestar, being the noble clan leader he is, would have fought in the battle regardless. He would have done what he needed to do without having the knowledge of being the fourth cat. He would have put his all into destroying the Dark Forest, even if it meant sacrificing himself regardless, kinda making the whole fourth cat thing pointless. Literally any other cat would have been a better option. Breezepelt, Soul, you name it. Personally, I think that Hollyleaf would have been the best option, considering she was initially supposed to be part of the three, so it would make sense if she actually did have a power. Hollyleaf felt a great sense of anger and potentially even self-loathing when she realized that she was not only born to a medicine cat, but was half clan. Due to her little outburst, it is determined that she indeed does not have a power. Unlike Firestar, Hollyleaf has no reason to be loyal to ThunderClan. She doesn't even have a reason to fight for the clans and give up her life, let alone return to them. She even feels a tang of jealousy when it's revealed that Doubling is part of the three instead of her. But had she returned and realized that she had a power all along, it would have been a good reason for her to feel like she had to fight for the clans. In fact, it could have helped her to learn to accept things the way they were, and it would have likely helped her recover from everything she had recently endured. To an extent, it would also be unexpected because the books made it extremely clear that Hollyleaf was not part of the prophecy after she basically gave everything she knew up and ran away. After everything that had happened, she could have finally realized that she did have a place in ThunderClan. This would have inspired her to fight, and would have even made her sacrifice for Ivy Pool even more emotional, and it would have made the interaction she had with everyone while she was dying a lot more meaningful as well. Overall, the series could have been a lot more meaningful had she been the fourth cat instead of Firestar, especially given all the beef she's had with a lot of the clan cats. Now, you may be asking, what power should Hollyleaf have had? And, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure. There were a lot of options, but nothing really seemed to be doing it for me. But the power that I found most interesting and fitting for her was actually featured in a poll on the New Warriors site on what power she should have had, this power being the ability to make cats speak the truth. While I'm sure there are better power ideas out there that I would love to hear, I thought that this power could have really changed the series in a lot of ways. For example, something that I like about all of the powers are that they can be used for good or for evil. Lion Blaze can use his strength to injure innocent cats. Jayfeather can enter the dreams of others and read others' thoughts, and then use his power to just interfere with their lives and wreak havoc. And Delvin could use her powers to unjustly spy on others and exploit their weaknesses. Hollyleaf's power could be used to help in a lot of ways, such as being able to truly understand a cat's issue or reasoning for doing something wrong so she can find the best ways to help, or she could use it for bad. A scene that I imagined being way more dramatic with this power would have been at the gathering when she first reveals her family's secret, and this is actually the scene I drew. And Crowfeather immediately denies his involvement with Leafpool, but if Hollyleaf had just asked him a simple question or two, he suddenly would be forced into revealing everything to his clan, mate, and kits. He could have gone on about what really happened between him and Leafpool, and maybe even gone on to admit whether or not he still had feelings for Leafpool. I can only imagine that this would have serious consequences for him, and he may have even been exiled if he were to talk about how he still loved Leafpool. It would take moons for the clans to forgive him, if they forgave him at all. Something else about this power is it's so subtle that it may have actually taken her a while to realize it was even a power, which is why it could make sense that she also believed she was powerless for some time. But this power could also be used for good. She could have had honest conversations with Leafpool and or Squirrelflight, making them explain exactly why they did what they did, and how it came to be like that in the first place. She could have looked at their situations from a new perspective, actually using her power to bring herself closer to her mothers and even feel sympathy for them. There could have been an actual reason for Hollyleaf to forgive them instead of just randomly blurting out that Leafpool was a great mother before she died. I'm also a big fan of the idea of Dark Forest cats getting redemption. Hollyleaf could have used her power to make them explain why they were really fighting for the evil side, and could have maybe had the clans understand and feel sympathy for cats like Thistleclaw, who honestly don't deserve to be in the Dark Forest. There are a lot of more uses this power could have had, such as being able to ask the medicine cats why they were separating themselves from each other during a time of need, and if there was anything that could be done to bring them back together. She could have made some cats come forward about things they were lying about, such as crossing the border or stealing prey or something, and she could have even been able to find out if another clan was planning an attack or something ahead of time if she just asked one of the warriors, like, hey, are you guys gonna attack ThunderClan? And overall, her power could have changed the series in a lot of ways and really could have made things more interesting, especially given she could have easily found her place as the fourth cat. That's essentially all I really have to say, but I'm just gonna let the speed paint continue before I wrap it up because there's still a lot of extra footage that doesn't have narration, so I hope that's okay with you guys. I'll see you in a few moments, I guess. While I'm sure there are a lot better options for what Hollyleaf's power could have been, I think it's fair to say that there were a lot of good reasons she could and should have had a power. She would have been a much better fourth cat than Firestar, this newfound connection to her clan giving her a reason to fight. She also could have used her powers a lot of ways throughout the series, whether the reasoning behind her using them was good or bad. And her power would have also just really strengthened her character and really made her feel like she belonged in ThunderClan, making her sacrifice in return more powerful. I think it's a huge shame that the authors went down this route for Omen of the Stars, especially with The Last Hope where there's just so many better options. Let me know what you think about the whole Hollyleaf having a power thing, and tell me if you agree with it or not. I really hope you guys found this video entertaining, especially because I haven't really made a video like this before. Let me know if you think that it could have had more explanations or anything like that. I definitely want to try and do some more speed paints in the future, so your feedback is definitely appreciated. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.